Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me right now is Trent Northcutt. He's the president and CEO of Aurora Spine Corporation. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: ASG on the TSX Venture and ASAPF on the OTCQB. And Aurora Spine will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, Planet MicroCap Showcase Vegas, in partnership with MicroCap Club, taking place April 22 through 24, 2025 at the Paris Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. For more information, to meet with Trent one-on-one, to see their presentation, please register to attend at planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Trent, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Good, Robert. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate you getting us online here.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. This is actually technically our first time doing an interview together. You actually presented at our event back in 2023. So, for those that were there, they got the opportunity to meet with you and see the whole spiel. But, you're coming back in 2025. So we're odd years. I guess, it's like the San Francisco Giants in 2010, 2012, it's just on the every other year. But long story short, this actually technically is our first time doing an interview together on Planet MicroCap. So, for those that don't know the Aurora Spine story, can you give us that quick overview and history of the company?
Well, absolutely. First, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of Planet MicroCap. I think what you and your father do is tremendous work. Everyone I met at the event was, first class. The event's first class. For any of those who's listening to this, they should definitely attend. It's worth the visit, and you'll
Thank
meet
you.
some really spectacular people. So thanks again for having us, and I think you guys do a terrific job.
Well, thank you. No, I do very much appreciate that. All right, so let's get to Aurora
All right.
Spine. Let's get to Aurora Spine then. Quick
All
overview and
right.
history of the company.
So Aurora Spine was started now. We're going into our 13th year. We started out with the mission to simplify the complex. Now, it's not just a tagline, it's not just a slogan, but the idea of it was surgery is very complicated. Surgery is very hard. And our sole focus was to work in the spine. We're not a carpal tunnel company. We're not a total hip, total knee company. We just work on your spine. We have evolved into the SI joint, but our goal was to take a look at the surgical technique approaches and to create a series of minimally invasive implants that would be more intuitive in design, more intuitive in the steps of the surgical technique, and to collaborate with the surgeons around the country. And we started actually international, but now we just focus on mostly North America and a little bit of Central and South America. But the point was is that we wanted to get in front of as many key ortho, neuro, and then we evolved into the interventional space. And how does these products that we've created, how's it going to work in their hands? And then ultimately, how are we going to get their patients back up on their feet? And that's really been the mission of Aurora since day one.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, what would you say makes Aurora unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
Well, our approach on the first procedure we ever came out with was the zip procedure. And the zip procedure it is a screwless procedure. And I'll show like this is an X-ray that we took one of the very first cases we ever performed. If you see here, there's no screws put in that patient's spine. This is a small implant about the size of a quarter that fits right down the center of your spine and allows the patient to get a surgical procedure with a couple different options. One of them is what we call the Zip LP, which is playing behind my head here right now. And then we evolved and created a product that's going to come over here this way, which will be the Zip 51 that actually attaches down to the lowest segment of your spine. So the procedure is actually quite simple, but it has to be in the right hands. And the doctors and the surgeons that we work with are very skilled and they do a terrific job. You make a small skin incision here, allows you to get the implant faced right in between the two vertebra, whatever the vertebra that are affected, allows the doctor to make an incision about 4 centimeters. So it's very, very small. And it gets into this section here of the spine, and they're going to measure out what the size of the implant they're going to use. You pack this implant with a biologics, which we call a DBM, which is demineralized bone matrix. It comes from allograft sources from patient donors. And then we pack this with graft into the implant. So instead of drilling into the patient's spine, we're going to clamp it or clip it together. So this implant simply goes right down, right into the patient's back, right between the affected area. You grip it, you zip it, you're done. You've locked the implant into place. The patient has no screws in their back. That is right there, a single level lumbar fusion done as minimally invasive as you possibly can. And that this was created and how Aurora started the whole company and how we raised our first series of investment in the company was to be able to create a procedure that was this unique and this minimal to be able to help patients get back on their feet.
I'm kind of speechless. That was the coolest thing I think I'd ever seen in doing one of these interviews ever. I hope nobody is just listening to this and they're watching the video. I know we're posting this on YouTube, but that was so cool. How did you do that on in the background
Well,
there?
oh,
Sorry,
thank you.
that's
Yeah,
why my mouth that's why my mouth was open the whole time. I was like,
this is how I do all the presentations because
perfect.
words are great, but images, say a
That's so
billion words,
sick.
right? And it
Yeah.
really helps. This is the Zip 51. So that you see here, it's a very, very last vertebra in your spine.
Yeah.
We specifically designed this implant to angle in a way it comes down onto what you're called your sacrum right here. So patients really are getting terrific results. We have over 10,000 procedures performed using this. We started in Europe. Europe had some regulatory issues with the cost of doing business over there, so we just pulled it back. We were based out of the United States. We took a big investment round out of Canada,
Mhm.
um, and we continue to be a publicly traded company on the Toronto Exchange, and we're on the OTCs. We got an investment out of a group out of Canada, and they loved it because the Canadian investors that came in with us, as we all know, the Canadian healthcare system is a socialized system. It's not actually a terrible system. It's just that they only limit so many lumbar surgeries or cervical surgeries or any surgery for that matter within the budget of that year. And then you get kicked to the next year. So if you have a back issue and you don't get into the I guess the lineup, I'll say, to be able to get your back surgery done, you get kicked to the next year. You could get kicked to 2 years or 3 years. It all depends on when they can perform the surgery within the healthcare system. Here, obviously in the States, you can go into a surgery center, and that was really key, or you go to a hospital. So for us, surgery center was the main focus for us because we wanted to make very, very small incisions, and we wanted this to get less blood loss and allow the patients to get back right on their feet without any delays, if you will.
Absolutely. So, final question for you here, because this is one of our quick hitters, and want folks, come to
Yep.
Vegas if you can be there, whatnot, meet with you. So, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts and goals for the rest of 2025?
Oh, 2025 is actually going to be one of our most exciting years to date in the company. And it's not just a promotion to say it that way. It's actually all the work we've been doing for the last, and now it's going on the 6 year. So 5 years ago, now going into our 6 year here on the mission was we had created a series of implants that we were working on that we said, look, let's change our model from the point of what other doctors besides ortho and neuro could take a look at our procedure. And we found that there was a company that was out there that had been built up in doing about $35 million in revenue. And they sold to a large strategic, Boston Scientific, for $465 million. That was a big purchase of that product. And their product did not do half of what our product that I showed you does. Now, we give our hats off to them. They had a great product. They got it out there, got it to the market. So Aurora built off of that. And this is what allowed us to break into the interventional space. The interventional space outnumbers the ortho and neuro sector 6-1. At least that's the data that we've received. And we started to break into a multi-center study showing that the ZIP device that I just showed you can be used in the hands of an ortho, neuro, and an interventional pain doctor and get lumbar fusion. From there, we've broke off to over 16 different FDA-approved products. We work on implants that actually work within the patient's bone density. This is a series of implants that are all coming out. The cervical study right now, which is up here, is now in place where we're getting great results with ortho and neuro doctors doing cervical fusion, matching the patient's bone density. We just got a recent FDA approval on the lumbar section. This is called the DEXA L. This is the DEXA C. These products are now in the hands of surgeons. We're getting really, really terrific results. If you take a look over here, you can see how well the implant looks. This is a cervical implant right there. And then we broke into the SI joint market. How much time do I have with you, Robert? Do I have another
Yeah, keep
couple
going.
minutes?
Keep going. I'm
Yeah.
not going to stop you.
So we worked with the interventional space, and in the labs and in the cadaver labs that we were at, we found that if we continue to do these big trainings, and here I'll kind of show you what a training looks like here. it was terrific because we had so many key people come to this. This is a cadaver course with ortho, neuro, and pain doctors all together collaborating, figuring how our implants can work within their practice. So here's an example of what this looked like. So here you can see here's a whole classroom filled with people writing down notes. We got keynote speakers in here. We got KOL. This is Dr. Falowski, who's a neurosurgeon. The next doctor who's going to be up here is a pain doctor, Dr. Lou Rasso, going over our procedures. When we started to see what procedures can we continue to work on that are going to work well within the outpatient surgery center, in the hands of ortho, neuro, and pain, and we talked to them about the spine pain, the cervical pain, and their SI joint pain. And they were thrilled to work with us on that. And we created a product, bought a patent from a neurosurgeon, good friend of ours, and we created this SI joint fusion. So SI joint can be a very big, very bloody surgery with the competitor. And we decided that it was just too much for the patient to take on. We decided to create a much smaller incision. In fact, the incision is the size of a penny. It's this big. So it allows you to get right on into the SI joint. You put this guide wire into the patient's SI joint. Then this is nothing more than a joint finder. This implant goes right on in, down through the small incision, right into the patient's SI joint, all underneath fluoro. A couple light, gentle taps to make sure you got confirmation that the instruments are right there inside the patient's SI joint. Then we patented all these tools here, and this is called the Ghost tube. It's a radiolucent tube, allows the doctor to shoot fluoroscope through the tube, so no metal interferes with the imaging. So it looks like, that's why I call it the Ghost tube. It's like a little phantom image on X-ray. It gives the doctor full access to be able to see where they are in the patient's anatomy, which is really important because everyone's anatomy can be a little bit different, right? So now we come in here and we're going to do a little bit of decortication. So the here allows this implant to be loaded up on the inserter. You're all in the beginning. Your incision's this big. So you're doing everything in a very small, very minimal percutaneous approach. You load up the implant. Again, you're going to see a common theme here. You're going to fill this thing up with more biologics. So now the biologics are filled up in here. And now your patient's going to have this implant gently tapped into place. So now you've got the implant right in line, all underneath imaging. So you tap, 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 tap this into place. And now you've got your belt and you're going to add your suspenders, right? So now we've got the implant in the SI joint. It allows you to put these two screws down through the chamber. You'll see here in one moment. There you go. So the sacrum screw, green means go. We color code it too to help the doctors in surgery. And then you've now cinched down the green screw, which goes into your sacrum. And then you're going to grab the ilium screw, which is the other side of it, and it's gold. And the reason why it's gold is that you won the gold medal. You're done. You've now seated this thing down. Green means go. Gold means you won. And you can seat this down here, fixate this. This incision right here that I said was this big. This is a procedure that a patient literally can walk in pain into the surgery center and walk out pain-free that day. So this procedure all takes less than an hour, and the patient results are incredible. We're about to put out our safety and efficacy study. We also are in a multi-center study with this device, so we're going to continue to collect data on this because it's all about proof and being able to create evidence-based medicine. So this is what's really exciting about Aurora is that this product has set the stage for additional products. We just got a new FDA approval on the Aero, which is AERO, and that's going to be a facet implant. I can't share a bunch of videos with you on that right now because it's very, very top secret to us, but we did get the FDA approval. We got it approved from C2 to S1, your sacrum, and I think it's going to be a game changer for Aurora because it's going to continue to elevate and create presence for Aurora and get those doors open for Aurora and continue to grow the company at a speed that we all can feel happy about.
Very good. All right. Well, with that, Trent, where can our audience go and find more information on Aurora Spine?
Please visit our website. It's a great way to take a look at it, which is www.aurora-spine.com. That's www.aurora-spine.com. But I'll really ask you, we're pretty good at getting out there on the social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and especially LinkedIn. We're on the LinkedIn quite a bit. we've actually asked our surgeons post their videos, put them out there. We've got testimonials, we got X-ray images. We're really showing that, look, if we're going to say it's good, then let's show that it's good. And you can really find our presence right there on the social media. So please take a look.
Very good. Well, Trent, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I will see you in Vegas.
All right, thank you, Robert.
Thank you.